The Edmonton Oilers are one win away from advancing to the second round of the NHL playoffs. They did what they needed to do down at Crypto.com Arena, and they have dragged the LA Kings back to Alberta, where they are looking to perform some regicide. Kill the Kings for all my vocabulary people out there. Shout out Oilers Kings, Kings Oilers Game 6 action coming at you. And I don't know, I may have predicted Oilers in 6. Hello and welcome. What up? Welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant, and is, of course, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, you know it, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Feeling good about tonight's bets. And Zach, we both said we've got responsibly more money in our accounts than we're used to having in there. So I think at the end of the show, we might have to make a parlay together. We might have to make a three-legger. You pick one, I pick one, and producer Brett Holden picks one as well. And as you can tell, I am joined by my shotgun partner, my number one bullpen call all season long, Zachary Laing, a writer here at Oilers Nation, live from Greta Bar. That ball is fucking gone. And that Pittsburgh Pirates fan just fell out of the outfield trying to catch that ball. Thoughts and prayers with that guy, because he took a tumble. Zach, let me just go first. Vibe check. We're down at Greta. The sun is beaming right now. Poor Brett Holden, producer, the right side of his face is just getting blasted with the sun over here. We were just enjoying some patio brews out there. Oilers playoffs, when it's above 20 degrees, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, there really isn't, Bordzy. It's absolutely tremendous. I'm already incredibly sweaty, and this bar hasn't even filled up yet tonight. So I'm fired right up for this one tonight. The vibes are high, man. The vibes are good. People are kind of trickling in right now. Not a huge crowd or anything like that. But, man, I'm expecting this place to be absolutely jumping tonight. And if everything goes the way we hope it will, knock on wood, of course, going to be a fun one tonight.
Yeah, if you're sweating now, I can only imagine how much we will be perspiring at the end of this evening if things go the way they want. But as Kobe Bryant says, the Mamba mentality, job's not finished. Still got to get that fourth and final win, which Chris Knobloch pointed out earlier today is the hardest win to get in each and every series. Expect the LA Kings to unload the clip. But let's get caught up in the chat, because you guys have been incredible all season long, all playoffs long. The After Dark Super Chats are insane. I hope we can do that again tonight. Mr. Burns kicks it off. I feel like the best possible birthday gift for Scory Perry, the platypus, would be a big, fat, wormy win. Let's go, Oilers. Let's wrap this regicide up. Bo from the chat is also here live and in the flesh. Now, I hate to say this, but I'm pretty sure it's not Corey Perry's birthday today. So I don't really know how that rumor got started. Just Googled it. Corey Perry's birthday is May 16th. So it's his birthday month. I'm willing to say that. I know a lot of people do that. So happy birthday month to Corey Perry.
Happy birthday, Corey Perry.
Shout out, Mr. Burns.
Today.
Good call. Lance Kane, we got this. Nothing but W. Silver Merlin said, and I agree. Lol, how are there only 6 people waiting for this, Lance? Too busy partying. Final buzzer. It's 23. Everybody's outside, and that's why the patio is open at Greta Bar. Mr. Burns, I mean, are they really partying if they aren't in this chat? That's a good point from Mr. Burns. Bob Stoff is in. Let's go tonight, people. And, just a lot of Mackay and Dry. Kane is going to be the X factor. We win these. Let's go, boys. Love from the Calgary region. I don't know if you saw it. I know Brett did. We played on Oilers Nation every day today. There's a clip from Flames Nation where Rhett Warner, Boomer, and Pinder are so butthurt about the Edmonton Oilers' success. If I could drink their tears and bottle it up, I would find a way to do that. Absolutely incredible stuff. And Davin also says they're wearing black for the funeral for the LA Kings if regicide does in fact get down. Bo's in, representing the chat at Greta. There's my boy right there. Why don't you get some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on right now? Fun fact, it's not even plugged in right now. It's just kind of in the way. But Zachary, the Edmonton Oilers have an opportunity tonight to do the funniest thing. After going down 0-2 against the LA Kings, where we saw their team photos in the locker room, we live online, we see the the shit talk, I will say, coming from the Los Angeles fan base. And if the Edmonton Oilers can find a way here to rattle off 4 W's in a row, turning on the Jets, that would be absolutely incredible. But they got to get the job done. I fully believe that the LA Kings are going to unload the clip tonight, right?
Oh, they're
It's not
absolutely
going to be. They're not going to be a pushover.
No,
anything like that.
No, it's going to be a tough game. There's no other way around it. I mean, the Kings are on the brink of elimination here. They are going to be bringing every single thing that they got. You know, the question now kind of becomes, and we've talked a lot about this week, Bordzy, like, what is that going to look like? I mean, you know, you take a look back at Game 5 there, and it felt like from the get-go, the Kings just looked absolutely gassed. Like, they looked exhausted the second that puck hit the ice. And it played to the Oilers' benefit because, you know, Chris Knobloch was able to go out there and roll 4 lines all night long. And that was an absolutely huge thing for this Edmonton Oilers team. He said after the game, quote, I think everyone was just ready for the challenge coming into this building, playing against a good team, but also that we kind of challenged every line to bring something tonight in that there's no line we're hiding. We can have our 4th line play against the other team's top line. We feel very confident in that. And in doing so, we don't have to worry about matchups. We can just roll our lines, end quote. And damn it, Bordzy, they rolled their lines to absolute perfection. You know, you got contributions all the way up and down that lineup. You know, Evander Kane, a huge goal. You got
Matthias Janmark.
Thank you, the janitor, cleaning it up. You got the empty netter from, you know, the top line or de facto top line. You know, the contributions were everywhere. And that was huge for the Edmonton Oilers to be able to get that kind of a depth scoring in that situation. Because, again, like, for as good as Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are, Bordzy, the Oilers cannot rely on them every single night, especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know, that Game 5 win, that was solely on the back of the depth of this team. I'm really excited to see what they can do tonight. Because you got to imagine everybody besides, you know, McDavid and Draisaitl, who obviously will still probably be feeling good about their game, has to have another level of confidence after what they put together in Game 5.
Absolutely. And it's not like Connor and Leon were slouches in Game 5. They each had a point. But the fact that you can win a game low scoring against the LA Kings on the road where Darcy Kemper puts a performance like that, and you win that on the back of your depth scoring. The fact that Matthias Janmark scored a goal twice in this series is amazing. Tyler Yaremchuk, my favorite lead he's done all season long on Oilers Nation every day. He started yesterday, paraphrasing here, but quoting himself and saying, if you think Matthias Janmark is just going to find a way to turn it on come the NHL playoffs, you got another thing coming. I'd hate to be the guy who said that quote. Let's get into it with the lead. It's been incredible. The Janmark one, he's been taking his licks. He's been taking it about it. Today, he refused to take it about John Klingberg. Neither will I, because none of us saw this coming, but it has been amazing. I also want to touch on, so we're in the 3rd period here. Toronto's up 2-1 over the Ottawa Senators. I pray that the Ottawa Senators can find a way to win this hockey game on home ice. And the last I checked, it was 1-1 between the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. Just checking, still 1-1. And then we got Stars Avs coming up in 22 minutes. There's nothing like sunshine and beers. We're going to get ready for the Edmonton Oilers. But the first round of both the NHL NBA playoffs is my favorite time of the year. It's not even close. It's better than Christmas.
Let me tell you, Bordzy, at Chateau Laing, whatever has been going on in the last, I don't know, what is it now, 10, 11, 12 days of the Stanley Cup playoffs, my laptop is open with a hockey game on from basically whatever time the game starts, whatever time the games end. Just having it on in the background has been such a treat. Like, this is my favorite time of year to watch hockey. Don't get me wrong. Hockey at any point in the year is great, but it's a little tough to get really excited about, you know, the Edmonton Oilers.
The dog days of February, January,
you know,
game
like
60 in San Jose.
You know, like, I'm not sitting there watching the San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks on December 18th. You know what I mean? But come the playoffs, man, I'm watching every second I can. It's an absolute treat. Yeah, this game is going to be great. I know producer Brett and I were sweating a live bet to come back on the Senators after they made it a 2-1 game. We both, you know, responsibly sprinkled a little cash on those Ottawa Senators.
I like that you said you keep your laptop open with a game. I see your laptop in front of me. It's also open with Bet365, of course. Shout out to them as well. We ride, and we're feeling good about this one. Also, Chateau Bordzy. This is when life is made in the basement. I got 2 65-inch TVs right next to each other. And the fact of the matter is, that's not enough TVs. I need a 3rd TV because, my one buddy Hatch, and he'd love that I'm saying this, he takes up his entire wall with, there's like an inch between the TVs of the 3. He's maximized it completely. Yes, Brett?
Still haven't been at Chateau Bordzy. Just want to bring that out.
You've
so
been invited
everybody knows.
100 times.
I know.
That is not on me. Okay. All right.
I have been to Chateau Hatch, though.
Yeah, you have. You're also always invited to Chateau Bordzy, and so is Devin Dubnik, who unfortunately will not be able to join us this evening, but he'll be ready. He said after this one, he should be good, free, open for the entirety of the rest of the NHL playoffs, which we hope is a long one for the Edmonton Oilers. So those same Oilers can punch their ticket to the second round of the NHL playoffs tonight. With the win, you're on to the next round. You might even get the entire weekend off, which as a man that hosts pre- and post-game shows is a praying for that one. But if not, Game 7, Greta Bar Saturday night, I won't be totally complaining about that as well. And right, if you lose, you're flying back to LA, and that would be a little bit of a dampening of a mood because that's a very tough building to win. Crypto.com Arena, you finally got the W on the road in Game 5. All the more motivation to finish it off Game 6 here in front of the Rogers Place faithful, who we'll touch on in a minute. I think is going to bring the boom tonight. Absolutely. And the thing about the Oilers, they're a veteran squad. We know the average age on this team. We know the majority of this squad went to Game 7 of the Cup final last season, but they have been there, done this before. So since 2017, the Oilers have the second best winning percentage in clinching games. They're 7-2 overall. They are also 5-0 in games 5 and 6 when they can clinch. They beat San Jose in Game 6 back in 2017. They won Game 5 in Calgary in 2022. They won Game 6 in LA 2023. And then last season, they beat LA in Game 5 and they beat the Dallas Stars Game 6. So we know the Oilers, they don't tend to play with their food when they're in these situations. They know they need to put their foot on the neck of the LA Kings. They have also done that before. Very, very, very veteran squad. And I think it's going to be crucial tonight. I'm not in that room. I imagine Corey Perry is letting the boys know that you cannot let this opportunity slip with home ice. And we've seen it from Connor and Leon in the biggest moments. They tend to play big. I will say that, also banking on that in Bordzy's bankroll. But thoughts, the Oilers, they're veteran, they're experienced in these situations, and usually they find a way to clinch.
In the words of famous Detroit rapper Eminem, this opportunity only comes once in a lifetime, yo. Okay, well, that was terrible. Sorry.
Vomit on my sweater.
Mom's spaghetti. But nonetheless.
He's nervous, but on this. No, I got to stop. Kill my own
We
mic.
could go all night.
Oh, we could.
We could go all night. Nonetheless, we're still waiting for speaking of bars, we're waiting for the McHigh and Dry bars.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that. But yeah, this is a huge moment. I mean, the leaders on this team are going to step up in a big way. You know, we'll get into the lineup a little later. Corey Perry staying up on that top line. I like it. Happy birthday, Corey Perry. Shout out to him. I'm really excited to see what this team brings tonight because I am fully expecting a big, big performance from all of the Edmonton Oilers tonight. You know, this is knock on wood again, of course, here, right? Mm-hmm. But, the truth of the matter is the Oilers have really two opportunities to close this series out. You want to get it done tonight. There's no denying that. Get it done tonight. Get the extra rest that you can. You don't have to travel. You can go back, sleep in your bed, and everything like that. But it's going to be fascinating to watch, man. I think it's going to be another one of these games from the Edmonton Oilers where they go out there with a lot of energy from the jump.
I can only imagine what the start to this hockey game is going to be. Obviously, that's been massively important in not just this series, but all 4 playoff series in these two teams' history. I mentioned on the last pregame, basically, whoever scores the first goal more often than not wins, which is hilarious. That in Game 5, the Oilers were so far the dominant team. The ice was so tilted. Shots were 20-4 or 19-4. Yet the Oilers allowed the first goal against, but they never wavered. They continued to bring that same energy, bring that same vibe, and I got a feeling the home crowd is going to play into that. Also, you mentioned Bordzy Bars for McHigh and Dry. We got some Super Chats in here. Reminder, all your Super Chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, where McHigh and Dry says $6.99, Bordzy Bars $16. R.I.P. Kings like Chandler Bings, Matt Perry death stings. Rob Clark sings, Zach a champ with those wings. Let's go get those Stanley Cup rings.
Is McHigh Dry here tonight?
Right.
Knowing that I had wings?
Absolutely unbelievable from
Love
this
it.
guy. And then, of course, Cup Year is in the chat, $27.99. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Zachary, your response.
You better lose yourself.
In the moment you want it, you better never let it go. We've been singing a lot. Also, if we don't get in a little bit of Pink Pony Club in pre-gaming today, did we truly even pregame? Also, shout out to the Jager bombs that you got us before we went live today. Truly pre-gaming with Bordzy. I also liked when we yelled cup year. Bo screamed cup year in the background as well. That's what you want. That's what it's all about. The chat, it's live and in the flesh.
It's just kind of like an automatic response at this point. Like it happens down here. Like somebody will yell cup here and it'll just like reverberate across the bar and outside. It's hilarious. I love it.
I had an amazing moment yesterday. My neighbor is getting his driveway done, and we kind of share driveways where it's like the same thing, whatever. And one of the workers out there, I popped out of my car and he goes, "Holy shit, are you Bordzy? Cup, yeah." And the moment I got in my car and I went, that's what it's all about. That's why I love each and every one of you in the chat. So while the Oilers, excellent in games where they can clinch, holy shit, the Ottawa Senators just scored.
Brett, we're live. We're live, baby.
Good thing I muted your mic because you were just fucking screaming in there. We are back. So the Edmonton Oilers, yes, let's go. David Perron, former Oiler, let's go. While the Oilers are very good in clinching scenarios, the LA Kings are not so. They are 0-4 when facing elimination since 2017. They lost games 5, 6, and 7 against the Edmonton Oilers in the last 3 seasons, and they lost, I believe, in 2018. They got swept by the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Oilers, they've kind of completely taken over this series, dude. They have flipped the script. We knew it in games 1 and 2. They had the better goaltender. Kings had the better special teams. They were just kind of better, if I had to put it fully, especially in game 2 as well. But, I mean, it took a minute there in games 3 and 4, but basically from that third period of game 4 and on, the Oilers have found a way. And you think about it for the LA Kings perspective. They were 29 seconds away from going up 3-1 and traveling back to Crypto.com Arena, where they have been nothing short of excellent all season long. And instead, everything has kind of fallen apart. There's a great tweet we had in here, Brett. I don't know if you brought it in, but it's the difference between games 1 and 2 to 3 and 5. So the Oilers in games 3 to 5 are plus 92 in shot attempts, plus 44 in scoring chances, plus 41 in cycle chances, plus 36 in slot shots, plus 6 in goals. Zachary, I'd ask you, is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
When you combine, right, those numbers mixed with the track record and history of the LA Kings in these moments and the Edmonton Oilers killer instinct on top of all of that, the LA Kings kind of got their backs against the wall tonight. A lot of reasons to feel confident for the Edmonton Oilers, but when a team has your backs against the wall, the one move they have is to swing, empty the clip. Leon Draisaitl said that he expects the LA Kings will bring their best, and he said, quote, I just love how transparent he is. He goes, because they have to, because you literally have no other option. I expect them to come out fast, be extremely hungry. We know the Oilers are going to bring that wave in the first 10 minutes. Look for the LA Kings to try and combat that as well. I am sure they have heard all of the noise in the media right now. I'm sure Jim Hiller has heard all of it, whether or not he wants to ignore it. But considering how dominant the Oilers have been lately, this does have potential to be an all-time blunder for the LA Kings.
Yeah, when I was on ONE yesterday, I talked about it. Literally the possibility here for the funniest possible outcome to happen. Like, really, it really is the funniest possible outcome. The Kings go up 2-0 in the series, think they've got this thing in the bag, and then it's like, oh, yeah, the Edmonton Oilers doing Edmonton Oilers things. And I'll admit, I'll be the first to admit, the Oilers are down 2-0 in the series, and it's like, well, you can understand why. The team's been so banged up. They're just getting players back like Evander Kane and Trent Frederick. John Klingberg was entering the lineup at the time. I don't think anybody expected John Klingberg to do what John Klingberg has done, in the couple of games that he's played here. But, there was more than enough ability to understand, I suppose, this being a short series in favor of the LA Kings. But, the Oilers have just once again showed that you can never doubt this team. And they talk about it all the time. They talk about it until they're red in the face in the locker room and the post-game press conferences, that sense of self-belief that this team has, and that they can always, with their backs up against the wall, find another level. And damn, Bordzy, they have found another level in these last couple of games. Again, looking at the stats, I mean, it's absolutely shocking to see how much they've turned this series around.
Dude, when the Oilers are at their best, like what we saw in Game 5, I don't know if the LA Kings can beat them. I don't know if any team in the NHL can beat them, but that's what we saw in Game 5, right? Start to finish, top to bottom, That was a complete 60-minute effort from the Edmonton Oilers. One of, if not the most complete games they've played in 2025 and possibly this season as a whole. We touched on it, how they dominated the first period, the shots, the ice, everything completely tilted in the Edmonton Oilers' favor, but they go down 1-0, but that didn't waver them at all. They continue to stick with it. And then you get those depth goals from guys like Evander Kane. What a play from John Klingberg on that goal as well. He says, Drew Doughty, get off of me, brother. Dishes an unbelievable feed to Evander Kane in the slot where got to be lucky to be good. You got to be good to be lucky. That one gets redirected, tipped, whatever you want to say as it leaves the stick. I don't care either way. They continue to play their dominant game. I also think the Oilers were incredibly aggressive in Game 5. That was one of Devin Dubnyk's keys to victory, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, this series has completely changed when the Oilers decided we're going to start taking it to Darcy Kemper. We're going to bring the pucks down low at him. We're going to play below the goal line. We're going to get in his kitchen, get him off of his game, but not just offensively, defensively in Game 5. They gave the LA Kings no time and space with the puck, which was trouble in Game 1 and 2 when we looked, why the fuck does Adrian Kempe have 10 feet of free space all around him and he's able to rip these shots off? The Oilers defended so much better in the last game, and the thing we touched, it was an all-time team effort out there. It wasn't domination from your stars and Connor McDavid and Leon. They played, damn it, the Toronto Maple Leafs just scored a goal. With 5 minutes and 39 seconds left. No! That sure is dejecting. Everybody in this bar is pissed off right now. We can all unite in hating the Maple Leafs as well, but that game didn't rely on stars, didn't rely on an all-time goaltending performance from Calvin Pickard. Well, also, he was very good. It was just front to back, one of those games that we have dreamt about all season long. And Zachary, they did that on the road in the toughest barn in the NHL this season. They bring that same effort tonight on Rogers Place ice. I'll be feeling pretty good about the Oilers' chances in Game 6.
Home ice advantage here in Edmonton, right? I mean, this crowd is absolutely electric, and I think that's going to be a big, thing that'll help lift this team tonight out there is just the energy that the city of Edmonton brings here. I saw somebody in the chat a little bit ago talking about, it already being loud down in the ice district and everything like that. And again, I can't imagine what it's going to be like inside the barn tonight. That place is going to be deafening. And for the Edmonton Oilers, again, it's going to be really important for them to come out and just really bring the pace early on in the game. And that aggression, I think, was a huge reason why, the Oilers were able to really flip the series on the head. I think especially, on the penalty kill, even early in this series, it felt like the Oilers were at their best on it when they were playing aggressive on the puck carriers. The Kings didn't really do a great job, especially in Game 5, of really supporting each other, down in the offensive zone or wherever the puck was when a Kings player had it on their stick. So, I think for the Oilers, limiting that time, limiting that space is going to be really, really important here for them again.
Before we move any further, want to give some love to Odd Company Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every single day of the week. Zachary, downtown, that is their Ritchie location as well, where come on, people. You go down there or simply check liquorconnect.com. Stock up for the NHL playoffs. And I'm curious, Brett, if our connection will improve because we're trying to figure things out here at Greta Bar. Baby. But depth, Zachary, has totally been it's been a massive story in this series for both ways, right? It's the LA Kings' lack of depth that I have seen or unwillingness to play that depth, which is weird because all regular season long, all I heard was the depth of the LA Kings. Edmonton Oilers have leaned on their depth guys. LA Kings kind of refusing to play them. When you compare that Matthias Janmark has 2 goals in this series on the fourth line, well, guys like Jeff Malott, Sam Elenius, Trevor Lewis, Turcotte, whatever you want to say, can't even get 5 minutes a night. Now in Game 5, they did get an uptick. They made it to officially 5 minutes a night. But that has just been a strategy that has not worked for the Kings, and it may have worked in Games 1 and 2 when you're leaning more heavily on your stars. But the more this series continues to move along, the more workload that they have, and this applies to their top 4 defensemen as well. Jim Hiller has not been willing to pull back on that a little bit, spread the wealth a little bit when it comes to minutes in this lineup. It's been tough, man. And then, as I said, you look at the other side, the comparison to the Edmonton Oilers, we've got depth all over the place. The lineup kind of looks right now what we dreamed about all regular season long. We were playing that fun game of like, this guy goes here, now this guy goes here. Who sits out? It's Jeff Skinner in this series so far, but that's because the Edmonton Oilers have their depth, and I think it has never been more paramount than the more this series has gone along. Do you think the LA Kings will adjust in this hockey game, or are they going down with the ship?
I think they're going to go down with the ship.
I think they're going down with the ship.
I don't see things changing at this point in time. I mean, let's look at it. Okay. What's the reason for the Kings basically playing, 9 forwards and 4 defensemen all series long? They can't rely on their depth pieces. The fourth line, the bottom pairing. I mean, even last game in game 5, they're running Adrian Kempe as a defenseman. I mean, Brant Clark, whatever you may say as an Oilers fan or Oilers follower, he's a great young defenseman. I mean, there was a significant point in the season where Drew Doughty was not in the lineup for the LA Kings, and Brant Clark was playing a ton of minutes. And he was doing
He averaged 16 minutes as a whole, which I get. That's because Doughty was in there,
Yep.
so maybe take it down a little bit, but it's insane drop-off.
They relied on this guy early on this season. It was a big reason why they were able to kind of get through the season without Drew Doughty, and now they've completely gone away from it. I really don't see that changing here tonight. And you know what? If they want to go out there and want to run the fourth line, they want to run the third pairing, that's fine, because the Edmonton Oilers have no problem throwing Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl out there when they got the fourth line out.
We've also got home ice tonight.
Exactly, right? You've got the chance to get the matchups you want. Not that that's something that Chris Knobloch really does a ton of in the first place here. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I wouldn't anticipate a ton of ice time for those bottom guys again.
You mentioned that quote earlier from Chris Knobloch about how he can just roll lines and he doesn't have to worry about matchups. I felt like that was just, and I know it wasn't, but the way I'm going to take it was, hey, Jim Hiller, you hear that, buddy? Because it feels pretty good to be able to roll lines. Zachary, we mentioned Bordzy's bars. Well, we have now got Lang's Thangs in here. I love Zach. He's a life hack. His solid takes are stacks on stacks. These bars are for you as opposed to the crew. See you in round 2.
What a legend.
Bars.
Loving the kind, Brad. Thank you.
What an absolute stud. Let's go now to our Wilhock Beef Jerky need to know information, which the more the series moves along, I have less and less need to know information, but I love Wilhock Beef Jerky. I can tell you all about them. Only the finest tasting meat products earn that name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Their jerky is seasoned, aged, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. Come on, Senators. Come on, baby. Find a way to get that goal. So, Brett, if you want to pull up the tweet here from the Edmonton Oilers morning skate, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Chris Knobloch, parentheses, probably, I'm going to put with that because there's going to be no changes tonight. Leon McDavid Perry with Kane RNH Hyman. Sorry, not with. Second line of Kane RNH Hyman. Third line of Freddie, Arico, and Brownie. Fourth line, Pod Colson with Matthias Janmark and Victor Arvidsson. Your extras, Jeff Skinner, Kasperi Kapanen, Maximum Jones, and Derek Ryan. Your D pairings, Darnell Nurse with Evan Bouchard. Second pairing, Woolman with Klingberg, who has been amazing. Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. Extras, Troy Stetcher, who is healthy. But once again, if it ain't broke, you ain't fixing it. And that applies to Calvin Pickard in the crease as well for the Edmonton Oilers. With a win tonight, the Oil would knock LA out of the first round for the 4th straight year. And Edmonton in 2022 was in the same spot that the LA Kings are right now. The Oilers dropped Game 5 at home, had to win Game 6 on the road, drag them back to Alberta to win it Game 7 at home. And then finally, as I just mentioned, Calvin Pickard is going to get the start. 2.62 goals against average in the playoffs, 9.04 save percentage. It's kind of exactly like his regular season numbers. Calvin Pickard, epitome of consistency for the LA Kings. Once again, not much need to know. Expected to roll out the same lineup in Game 6, which, as I said, saw the tiniest uptick in minutes for that fourth line and the tiniest uptick in minutes for Brant Clark and Jordan Spence as well. Did that go in? No, he missed. Okay, Sens, we're still alive, baby. We're still alive. And then Darcy Kempfer, he had his best outing of the playoffs in Game 5, and it was all for naught. He stopped 43 of 45 shots, and without him, that game would have been 7-1. after 40 minutes through that one. They were dominating. Kings only managed 1 goal, but Kemper put up a .956 save percentage. Let's go now. Sherwood Ford Giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford and the Giant once again. Use their nation. Giant. They could use a giant goal from the Ottawa Senators right now for no particular reason besides the love of the game. But shout out Sherwood Ford. I am going to be taking advantage of their Nation Valet service next week. So that means they're going to come to the office. They're going to pick up my car. They're going to drive it back to the shop. They're going to change my oil. I don't even drive a Ford. They'll do whatever make or model you got. They're going to work on it, drive it back to me in the office. I mean, maybe my car will be sitting there for a couple days because if we keep up these Greta things, my car's just parked outside the office all the time. Be smart out there, people. Use your Uber bills. Rack up your Uber bills. For me, my storyline, key to victory. Oh, William Nylander. Oh, it's over. All right. Well, it was fun.
Hedging on the spread was a terrible idea.
Oh, my God, you did. You lost both.
Yeah, I sprinkled on the money line, and I hedged with a little +1.5 for the Sens. That sucks.
That does stink. But storyline being, I guess, my key to victory, my Sherwood Ford Giant spotlight is the way I'll put it, is on the start in this hockey game because the Oilers brought the energy in Game 5. That was the perfect start you could ask for, but it came on the road where you didn't have the hometown crowd behind you, lifting you up, giving you that extra bit of motivation, and that's exactly what they're going to have tonight. I know Liam Horban's going down there, saw Bearded Brad, Tyler J. They're all willing. I told Ty before he left, if you come back tomorrow and I can hear your voice still, I don't even want to hear you talk because, frankly, I want to hear the pain after everything you experienced through Game 6. But I just imagine tonight the start is critical. It's been critical in every game in this series. But this fan base needs to will the Oilers to victory. I brought it up on ONE because this morning I'm talking to Ty, and I said last year when the Oilers won Game 5 against the Florida Panthers, it was our fearless leader. And I will use that in this example. Jay Downton said, Bordzy, if they win Game 5, the Oilers crowd will win them Game 6, and then they will have to go figure it out on the road in Game 7. That is exactly what happened in Game 6 of the Cup final. I'm expecting more of that tonight from the Oilers. And then if I had a key to victory, I'll use the cop-out, and I will just simply go with special teams. We've seen how this series has moved along. No secret. Kings dominated that in Games 1 and 2. They went up 2-0 in the series. The Oilers have started to punch back, while still I'd like the PK to be a little bit better. They had, for me personally, Game 5, they were up 1. They had that Darnell Nurse tripping call at the end of the game. They had already allowed a goal, sure, shorthanded, but that was a series-altering kill from the Edmonton Oilers. Penalty kill, found a way to dig deep and get that dub for the Oilers. I need more of that tonight because we know if the LA Kings are – they've been competing in this series because they've been killing the Oilers on the power play. Zachary, you got a spotlight, storyline, or a key to victory? Any of the above?
Keep up the energy. That's the one for me tonight, man. Keep up the energy. I mean, they turned it around in Game 3 in a big way in that third period, carried it into overtime, parlayed that into Game 4 and into Game 5 as well. And I think for the Edmonton Oilers, that's the most important thing coming into this game. They have to determine the pace of the game. Because at this point here, 6 games in, their top 9 forwards, top 4 defensemen have played a million bajillion minutes. They looked gassed in Game 4 at times. They looked exhausted from the start of Game 5. Wear them down, right? Because the Kings had the opportunity to come back to Edmonton here feeling really good about their game. They can't do that. They cannot come into Edmonton feeling good about where they're at right now because of what transpired in Game 5. So for the Edmonton Oilers, hammer down, folks.
Imagine that plane ride. After Game 4, probably pretty negative. After Game 5, holy shit, can only imagine what that one would be like. I would now like to give some love to a new sponsor here on Pregaming and Postgame, and damn it, it's a match made in heaven. Shout out to our friends at Budweiser, baby. Shout out to Mark Messier as well. Budweiser has been brewed in Edmonton for 45 years, and by partnering with Mark Messier, the Moose, a proud Edmontonian, on this limited edition can, the brand set out to ignite the City of Champion spirit at a time when Budweiser knows this city is united and energized. Amen. The brand is giving Edmontonians a new way to express their pride by raising a cold one and reminding them that the champion spirit still runs deep. Zachary, we don't have our Edmonton cans, but you can imagine what is inside of these. Brett, shout out to you as well. Shout out to Mark Messier. Shout out to Budweiser, because double the beer sponsors on Pregaming, staying true to the name. Cheers to all of you.
Cheers. Yeah. Shout out Budweiser. Love a nice cold Bud.
Shout out Bud Heavy. Bud Heavy as well. Get down to Greta, because this place is starting to fill up.
Oh, it
And
is.
I think we're going to enjoy a couple of Budweisers this evening. Bert, do it one more time. Pull up the projected Edmonton Oilers lineup. See, we're also getting a little bit more red on the screen because the sun's coming down. Starting to feel like game time vibes here. Dry McDavid Perry, Kane, RNH Hyman, Freddie Rico Brown, Pods, Yanni, Arvey, Nurse, Bush, Wallman, Klings, Kulak, MB, with Calvin Pickard in between the pipes. Now, Zach, John Klingberg, is without a doubt the biggest surprise of this series. None of us saw this coming. It has literally come out of nowhere. The man was on retroactive LTIR, missed the final 10 games of the regular season, only played 11 in total in the regular season, where, don't want to pick on the guy, we're on playoff Klingberg now. There wasn't a lot there that I saw that gave me confidence that come the NHL playoffs, he would be a solid 7th, 8th defenseman to use in spurts. Well, boy, was I wrong, because has he not only been able to supply steady minutes for the Edmonton Oilers, he supplied heavy, important workload for these Oilers. He's averaging around 18 minutes a night. The guy he replaced, Josh Brown, couldn't even get 5 minutes a night. We saw the play he made to assist on the Evander Kane goal, which was a beautiful one. He had another assist earlier in the series. Game 5, he played 18-36, assist, 5 shots, 3 hits. Zachary, I know you love some underlying numbers. Shots when Klinger was on the ice, 18-5. Scoring chances, 16-1. High danger chances, 10-1. And the expected goals for percentage with John Klingberg on the ice in Game 5 was 93%. That is borderline perfect game from the NHL veteran. We've talked about it. Lacking Matthias Ekholm, you need a veteran presence on the back end. Jake Wollman also applies to this as well, but you lose one veteran Swedish defenseman. Damn it, Zachary, you got another one who's playing fantastic for the Oilers right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think anybody in their right mind expected
Nope.
this from John Klingberg. John Klingberg was announced as coming back in the lineup. It's like, all right, well, he played like 11 games for the Oilers in the regular season. He had a couple of decent moments out there, but, it wasn't really pretty.
Nothing to write home about.
It wasn't. Then he hurts his ankle, gets an infection, he's missing more time. And it was kind of like, if he can just go out there and kind of break even and not be drowning like he was at times during the regular season, like that's kind of a win. I don't think anybody expected this from John Klingberg. I mean, 4 games played, as you mentioned, around 18 minutes per night. He's got 2 assists, both primary assists as well, 9 shots on goal, and he's also blocked a number of shots, 6 shots through 4 games as well. And the Oilers have really dominated the pace of play with him out there on the ice. So an absolute revelation of sorts for the Edmonton Oilers. And sorry, Troy Stetcher, I feel bad for you, but I don't see him coming back into the lineup at all in the playoffs. And, knock on wood again, of course, here. But, however long the Edmonton Oilers play hockey this spring, I think John Klingberg is going to be a piece of this puzzle. And I know Tyler was joking about it on Twitter in Game 5 when he said, extend John Klingberg.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been really impressed with this game. He looks absolutely rejuvenated. If the Oilers can even just continue to get, 60-70% of peak John Klingberg, he's doing a damn fine job out there for the Edmonton Oilers.
He is helping the Oilers tread water. And I also want to give some love to his, granted, I'd say partner. Everybody plays with everybody in this Oilers lineup. We all know this now if we're at this point in the season. But Jake Wollman was awesome in Game 5 for the Edmonton Oilers. He played 20-04 and outshot the Kings 26-7 when he was on the ice. And he's totally fit in like a glove. I just seen Brett behind the camera just nodding along, just being like, yeah, it's my tattoo boy right there. Brett, we also got an idea to throw inside your tattoo. Shout out to Bella and Cheryl. What'd they say to add?
They said to add like a whole bunch of basically Easter eggs from our show. So your name, Bordzy.
Get my name tattooed on him. That's all I want.
That's all you wanted. But also like jeans, cup year, all that stuff.
Cup year.
It was a great idea, but
hey,
it's just inflating your head.
For life,
Shut
brother.
up.
I'll be on your body
your mouth.
for life.
Shut your mouth.
You'll never forget me. Oh, you could before, but I love you. But I want a piece of that skin right over there. I want some of that. The Edmonton Oilers were also, I said, the aggressors in Game 5, whether it was the puck, driving pucks to the net, bringing it down low in Darcy Kemper's kitchen, or defensively as well, just not giving him time and space. But there's one guy who's been surprisingly aggressive, and especially in the last 2 hockey games, and that is a man who shares your first name, Zachary Martin Hyman. He is finding ways to affect this series, whether or not he's putting the puck in the back of the net. He has been so physical. The last 2 games has had above double digits in hits. He had 12 in game 4, followed up with 10 in game 5. He leads the Oilers with 36 hits in 5 games in this series. Last year in 25 playoff games, he had 53 hits. So he's already 60% of the way there. And there is a realm, and this is purely my opinion and speculatory, I feel like Zach Hyman's not at 100%. I feel like there's something, or he's just not bringing that same offensive punch that we have grown accustomed to in years previous. Now, he's not playing with Connor McDavid, so that could be a very good reason for it. But regardless of his production on the stat sheet there, goals and assists, he is finding ways to impact the series. And we talk about it, the LA Kings defensemen who are playing so many minutes and get worn down as the series goes along. I felt in game 5 and part of 4, Oilers had shown more of a willingness to dump and chase, find the numbers, line them up when that D-man's having to go back. This happened a lot last year when they were playing the 1-3-1 and just taking that defenseman who's going back to grab that puck, lighting him up against the boards, which as the series moves along is going to be very discouraging for those LA Kings defensemen. But through 5 games, thoughts on Zach Hyman and this surprising physicality he's brought. That's playoff hockey, baby.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Maybe he hasn't been contributing on the score sheet in terms of the goals as much as he hoped this season. I wrote about it a couple of months ago. I mean, it was just such a huge year for him goal scoring wise. Bit of an outlier season in terms of the shooting percentages, but he was still a very productive player for the Edmonton Oilers in the regular season this year. And this physicality that he's brought and really ramped up has been a huge part of this puzzle for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously that top line, Corey Perry is going to be kind of a aggressive guy in on the forecheck, lay in the body. But that second line is an absolute banger of a line with Evander Kane on one side and Zach Hyman on the other, laying the body the way that he has. It's been a big part of the puzzle for the Edmonton Oilers here. And, granted, Hyman still had some production, a goal, 3 points so far in 5 games played. He's finding ways to contribute all over the ice right now.
Yeah, damn right he is. Let's go now. Let's talk some goaltenders as well. Brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. You feel that sun on you, Brett? Well, you could be feeling that sun on a boat. I'm on a boat and it's going fast and I got it down at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. That didn't work out very well at all, but shout out to them. They've got everything you could ever ask for when it comes to outdoor toys, quads, dirt bikes, motorcycles, boats, scoots, whatever you want, they got it. And if, just like Sherwood Ford, they will service whatever toy you got. Whenever you need to get it ready for the spring, get it ready for the summer. But as I said on O&E today, do not wait because there will be a long waiting list. May long weekend. It's officially May 1st. Happy birthday month, Corey Perry, once again. But that line is going to get longer as we get closer to May long weekend. Do not wait. Bert, starting goaltender report. Do we have the head-to-head between the 2 goaltenders? Of course we do. Shout out Patrick Puff as well. And Zachary, that looks nice right there. Calvin Pickard, 262 goals against, 904 save percentage, while Darcy Kemper, 344 goals against with an 899 save percentage. And Cal Powell, my pal Cal, coming off a 955 in game 5, where he was fantastic as it went along. I mean, not overly tested, especially in the first period. We asked Evan Dubnyk about it in hey, how tough is that when all of the action is going on in the other end? You're barely being tested, but you still got to stay alert. You got to stay awake. He said it's even harder than if you're getting all the shots all the time. He's now got his, I believe, 4th postseason win in his Oilers career, which officially passes him beyond UC Markkinen. Clap it up for UC. We will always love and appreciate you. Now, he's completely taken this net. Brett, I think we have the other stats here of his individual games. 857 game 3, 927 game 4, 955 in game 5. In those 3 starts, he's got a 908 save percentage. Regardless how tonight goes, this is Pick's net moving forward, as long as you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. He has been tremendous for the Edmonton Oilers here, coming in clutch for this club these last couple of the games, without a doubt in my mind. A big piece of the puzzle as to why the Oilers have been able to kind of turn this around. he's made the saves that Stuart Skinner wasn't really making in games 1 and games 2. And I think, that was part of the issue here with Skinner and why Pickard kind of got the nod here in these last number of games. But I totally agree with you, man. He's looked absolutely tremendous for the Edmonton Oilers here. They don't need a ton. They do not need a ton from him. But, playing the way that he's playing right now, if they can continue to get this kind of goaltending from him, I mean, yeah, shapes up really nice for the Edmonton Oilers.
And the guy on the other side of the ice has been a problem in this series. Darcy Kemper, very, very good. I see why he was nominated for the Vezina Trophy. That glove hand is a serious problem. He stopped 43 of 45 in Game 5, where I say at least 6 of those were unnecessary windmill glove saves, which if you've been on Pregaming, that just rattles my cage, man. That's when you know a goaltender is feeling it. I believe Swayman and Olmark said that on What Chaos like 2 years ago, and he said, that's when you know. That's when you know when they're unnecessarily finding a way to do it. Kemper was awesome, but the thing is here, Zach, he was that awesome. It was a low-scoring game, and the Edmonton Oilers found a way to win that game on the road without their stars even doing a whole heck of a lot. Do you think there could be some worry in the LA Kings room that they may have wasted that one beautiful Darcy Kemper start? Now, could fully be prepared for him to do it again in Game 6 and Game 7, but that one was something special that he did in Game 5 and still got the L.
Yeah, it was a great performance from him. I mean, he faced an absolute boatload of shots in that game. And the Oilers really struggled to kind of find ways to beat him. Evander Kane obviously got the goal with the deflection off of Vladislav Gavrikov's stick there. And Matthias Janmark, it was a big rebound that popped out his way from Kemper and was able to capitalize on it. So, he kept them in that game. And again, for the Edmonton Oilers, Jason Gregor wrote about it the other day in GDB 5.0. Kemper moving east to west has been a bit of an issue here, and something the Oilers have really looked to exploit. I mean, they've kind of been ripping around the backs of the nets and trying to find scoring opportunities that way with men out in front. So for the Oilers, going to be critical for them to keep doing that.
My roommate is out on the rigs right now, but I pay for our cable, and he's needs that 6-digit code to get in. He's probably messed this up 5 times during the show, and I keep sending him new codes. Is this the last time I'm going to give it to him? No, I can't. If he's out all the way out there in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, he needs to find a way to watch the Edmonton Oilers game. Eric Stout's in Super Chat, says, Cup yeah.
Cup yeah.
Thank you very much. Also, Cup yeah himself said, Oilers wish they were like the Leafs in the regular season. Leafs wish they were like the Oilers in the postseason. Well, now I kind of wish I'm like the Leafs, and we can move on with a Game 6 W. And find a way to move on to the second round. Let's go now. Away lineup brought to you by Greta Bar, my favorite spot in the entire city. Zachary, something tells me we are going to have a fantastic evening tonight. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and there are so many Edmonton Oilers jerseys in this bar, which they're going to be sweating in this place tonight because I think it's going to be packed, Brett. I think we're going to be having a lovely evening. Also, shout out Greta because they're letting us do our Nation Gear pop-up sale going on inside all these guys. So a lot of people, they want the shirts now. They want the merch now. They don't want to wait for the shipping. That's why we got this going on. Nation Gear Playoff Pop-Up Shop, all away games at Greta. And we got some merchandise here right now. So come on down. Bert, throw it up for me. What we project to be the LA Kings lineup. Andre Kuzmenko with Kopitar and Kempe on the top line. Kevin Fiala with Byfield and LaFerriere. Warren Fogle with Phil Deneau and Trevor Moore. And we expect it to be Jeff Malott, Sam Elanius, and Alex Turcotte. Your deep pairings, 4 of them are playing the heavy load. Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty, Vladislav Gavrikov with Jordan Spence, I'll put in quotations. Joel Edmondson with Brant Clark, I will put in quotations as well. We touched on it, Jim Hiller. I don't think he's going to adjust. I think kind of if you're at this point in this series, you're committed to what a card laid is a card played, I will say. Maybe that's the best way I can put it. Some adjustments that I want from the Oilers is that LA Kings power play. They need to find a way to shut it down. If Andre Kuzmenko scores another goal from that same spot at the side of the net, I'm going to freak and break something in this bar because we really have gotten the full Andre Kuzmenko experience in this series. Elite on the power play, elite offensively, has that puck on a string at points. Borderline elite. Borderline unplayable defensively at other points as well. You get that whole roller coaster in there. Zachary, I'd ask you for your player to watch, but we know what this team is. We've seen it now for 5 games in a row. We've seen it for 4 years in a row. You expecting any surprises tonight? If you had to pick me a player to put the spotlight on tonight for the LA Kings, who would it be?
Nobody. We're not doing that game for me
Hell
anymore on
yeah.
this show, Bordzy. We're not
You're
doing that.
passing
for
the
me here.
test with flying colors.
Absolutely.
Let's get on to the bankroll.
Yeah, perfect. Let's move along.
All right, bankroll brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, you know it, it's never ordinary. And at Bet365, you want to get on the action? Come on, they got you. Game props, player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champions, Edmonton Oilers, and much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game, an official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But once again, must be 19 or older to play, and please do so responsibly. So I'm going to show you my 3 picks. We got them here. And then, boys, I want us to craft up a parlay as well. So, Brett, you get ready for one pick that I'm going to ask you for, Zach. The same applies to you. But you see it here on your screen. This is what Bordzy's rolling with tonight. I'm going Connor McDavid anytime goal. I considered putting Connor McDavid first goal scorer, which is plus 900. I don't have the cojones to do something like that, I will say. But I looked up some of these numbers in clinching games for the Oilers against the LA Kings. So in 2022, Game 7, Connor McDavid scored a goal. Game 6 of 2023 against the LA Kings, Connor McDavid scored a goal. Game 5 last season against the Kings, he did not score, but he had 2 apples. You think about the 4 nations. What does Connor McDavid do? Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think he's going to be ripping the puck. I also like his shot prop, all of that. The man loves the big moment. Plus 900 if you're feeling ballsy as well. Your second option, Darnell Nurse, plus 2 or 2+ shots on goal. That's currently minus 200. And there's a reason it is. He's hit this in 4 out of 5 games in this series. He had 3 shots on goal in games 1, 2, and 4. He had 2 in game 5, only missed in game 3. And then the other guy, it's been hitting for me the last 2 shows. I'm riding again, but I'm ratcheting it up 1. I was going to Vander Kane 2+ shots. We're going up. We're going to 3+ shots because he's hit this in 3 out of the 4 games that he has played. The only one he didn't hit it was his very first game this season for the Edmonton Oilers. He had 4 shots on goal in game 3, 4 in game 4, 5 in game 5. I'm looking for him to continue to drive pucks to the net. Vander Kane never met a shot he didn't like, and plus 128 next to his shot prop is something that I am all about. Zachary, you look at these 3 bets. Which one do you like the most?
McDavid.
Shake my hand. I want to shake your hand.
I love it. I think this is the moments that he shows up big for. I think that's a great one to hammer here.
Brett, which of these 3 do you like the most? Say it. It's Connor McDavid.
No. Yeah, probably. Fine.
Connor McDavid.
Fine.
Where is Veronica?
Yes.
Where is Veronica?
Yeah, right?
Okay?
No kidding.
I saw some people time on the chat. Tyler never banned her. He put Wise Kyle in a 24-hour ban, which was kind of hilarious earlier today. He's here. Wise Kyle's here. Dude, he can try. I don't know how to unblock. I don't know how to undo it. I don't know how to undo a timeout. Card laid, card played. Zachary, though, is there anything you've already placed on that you want to? That's right. Responsibly, baby. Do so. Only bet what you're willing to lose at Bet365. What do you got going on currently in your account? I can see it right in front of me.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of action here tonight, Bordzy. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quickly. Okay.
Oh,
so,
you do have a lot of action.
Yeah.
Responsible action.
Responsible action. So we got a full unit on the top line parlay. I've been calling it. I've been playing it quite a bit. Connor McDavid over 1.5 points. Leon Draisaitl over 1.5 points. Corey Perry over 0.5 point. That pays out $5 wager, $25.80 return. Nice little parlay there.
We don't unit shame. Whatever units you put down, a win's a win.
Absolutely. So what I've done here, and I did this in Game 5 as well, half a unit on the first goal scorer and half a unit on the anytime. So I hammered a couple of Edmonton Oilers. John Klingberg. I've got a feeling he's got a goal in him somewhere. I could see it happening tonight. We've also got that for Evan Bouchard and for Zachary Martin Hyman. Here's a little interesting one that I kind of sprinkled on tonight. The Edmonton Oilers to score before the 15-30 minute mark of the first period. I like that one there quite a bit. Got a unit down as well. And then you know what, Bordzy? Oilers puck line. The puck line gods cursed me with the Ottawa Senators They got one in store for me here tonight on the Edmonton Oilers.
I like that Edmonton Oilers to score, but that means we are going to be sweating the first 4 minutes and 30 seconds of this hockey game. You know what? I'm going to go down with Oilers to score first. I'm going to go with that. That's also minus 140. But, boys, we all need to make a squad right here now. I just tripped over all of those words. I don't even know what the hell I just said. Brett, I'll let you kick it off. Do you have one bet that you would like to throw? I'll make it here on my phone.
I do, and it's, of course, going to be blocked shots. I wanted to get Adam Henrique, who is quietly a pretty decent shot blocker, but it's not offered. So I'm going to go, of course, Jake the Snake with 3+.
Plus 150. Dude, I was looking at that for the bankroll, too, so I like that you just said that.
He has the second most blocks behind, of course, Darnell Nurse, which is kind of, I do love a little plus, Jason. And Darnell Nurse is at plus 155. But Wally has 12 blocks in 5 games so far, 14 for Darnell. So you pick whichever one. I just want a block shot, bro.
Whoa, last minute change here. 4 minutes ago from the Edmonton Oilers. Confirmed lines. RNH, McDavid, Hyman. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson. Okay, but the Oilers tweeted this.
Yeah.
Once again, why do we even talk about depth charts with the Oilers? Because everyone's going to play with everyone. You can take that to Bet365.
Yeah.
That will cash. That everyone's going to play with everyone. So we're going to go Wallman 3+ shots. What about you, Zach? What's going to be yours for the
my
squad?
leg, I have got the Edmonton Oilers over 3.5 team goals. Bordzy in their 7 Game 6 wins over their in the McDavid and Draisaitl era. They have cashed this one in 5 of 7 games. I like them to rack them up.
How do I
tonight.
find that one?
So we are looking for team total.
For me, let me know in the chat if you guys have any bets that you guys would like as well. But I think I might just put Oilers money line in this, boys.
Oh, that's boring.
Is that too much of a cop out?
Whoa.
Okay. All right. You right.
You right.
I think for me, I'm gonna go with an Evan Bouchard 1 point.
Ooh.
That's minus
like
175. So together, Jake Wallman 3 shots, 4 total goals for the Oilers, and a Bouchard 1 point, plus 500. What do I always say? Oil Country, let's ride.
Let's ride.
Hey,
Shout out placed.
I just want to say as well, you mentioned the lines that the Oilers Twitter put out there. Tony has put out
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah, I know, right? So
Yeah, the
like,
Oilers.
I trust
said.
Tony. More than the social media person, I trust Tony. And you know who else I trust? Tourism Jasper. Shout out to them. We don't have Devin Dubnyk tonight, but I do want to give some love to our friends from Tourism Jasper this summer. Find your happy place in Jasper, from hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire. Happiness finds you here. Jasper is open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. Drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late. I love you all here in the chat. Please throw down your courtesy like on your way out. Zachary, I just said enjoy some delicious food and drink in Jasper. I think we're going to enjoy some delicious food and drink here. Greta, you already had some wings.
Oh, yeah.
So did I. What flavor did you get?
Dill pickle.
And?
Delicious.
Dave Portnoy, decimal point out of 10. What was it?
8.5.
Yeah, I would seriously.
Tremendous.
The wings here at Greta there's some thick boys.
I don't know what
There's
they
some
do.
thick boys.
Like the crispiness on the
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of it is so
Good breading.
damn
Good. Good.
Very good breading.
Good everything here at Greta. And you know what? Might even get a Big Mac poutine because I'm feeling fat today, baby. I'm feeling good. Hopefully we grab an Edmonton Oilers W, and it's going to be a very, very positive post-game show where maybe we'll have a couple more coffees while we're at it. Shout out to Greta Corp, as you might be able to see on my cup there. Love you all. Throw down your courtesy like on your way out. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. You can ride with the bankroll parlay. You can ride with the squad parlay as well. Good luck. I love you all. Peace out. We will talk right here, right after the game at the ON YouTube channel. Good luck. Talk later.